CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
We have a lot of balls in the air. We have to beat up 2 mechs, we have to make sure Sturban's Fang doesn't get the credit, and we have to rescue my work bestie.
I think I got one of your brethren here. That's why I wanted to speak.
This feels a lot like breaking the terms of the ceasefire.
Well, only if we get caught.
He has both arms out because he is not carrying another mech anymore.
Slip away, I just have to let you know. I'm so glad it's you in there.
Are you ready, Reach? Last time, huh?
Describe to me what the impact of this whole thing looks like.
We get a shot of Julius's arm, right, and of like a whole bunch of like rockets on the arm detonating, and the spear sort of like leaving his hand with such force that it his arm ripples like it's like almost broken. The camera follows the path of the spear, and then it just nails him to a fucking building, right?
I think we just cut to Slipway Bolt just slamming a fist down onto the sort of dashboard of their RV as the Hope of Calazar is taken off the field. Nice work.
What's the key look like?
I think it's less a physical thing and more now that the Hope of Calazar is incapacitated, you can easily just like interface with it and pull out like a data drive which has the code string you need in.
Right, okay.
Would we have to get out of the mech to do that?
I don't think so.
I don't hate there being a scene where if Mike's out there with like a pistol and pointing it at, because
oh yeah,
he has learnt from Slipaway. We can come back to that in a second since we've done that. But I don't hate that as a general vibe if we need to come back to that. But yeah,
that might be a good idea actually. Let's come back to that. Meanwhile, cut back to Ipse and True. So the concussive pinning fire against Horizon Blue has continued, and at this point it sort of decides to play a similar game to you. You see some of these smaller weapons turrets on Goliath pivot and begin their own bombard of fire of sort of Gatling bullets and missiles. Not at you though, but sort of in front of and above a Horizon Blue as it mounts its own airborne attack, like covered by that fire. It rears back so the claws and its legs are exposed, and it flares its boosters, and it begins to do a sort of low, scraping dive towards you. At the same time, the stream is still playing. The boos and sort of jeers and shock from the crowd inside Goliath are so loud that it's audible on the official stream play as one of their protagonists has been taken out of the action. And you hear the Baron's voice say, "Stubborn cockroaches. I see I will have to be a bit more proactive. All power to main cannons." 2 more ticks in the resonance gun. Ipse, Horizon Blue is making a dive towards you. What do you do?
Does it look like it's going to come right at us?
Yeah, like classic like diving, hunting bird thing. You're going to get gouged by both of those claws on its feet.
I kind of want to like take the dive and try and keep Horizon Blue pinned here. Like grab onto it when it dives me.
Interesting. So, envisaging that as just like a battle counting towards the clock or a setup action.
I think battle and just contribute to the clock is probably the best way to do that. Yeah,
I can see that definitely working. I think that once again, this is going to be a desperate, limited battle.
I think I'm going to at least spend something to push here. So I can spend Steady Gate to be stable when this thing dives me and push with that. I think I'm just going to add another die, because right now I'm still just on 1, so yeah. It can scratch at me, but I'm going to try and like wrestle it effectively as it comes down, grab its legs, and bring it to the ground.
Okay.
That's a 4?
Okay.
Oh boy.
In retrospect, I probably should have offered to help you, huh?
That's fine.
You successfully sort of halt its momentum and absorb the shock of the blow and bring it to the ground. Imagine just these two huge machines. You're stood on a map kind of near a park, so I'm imagining that there's suddenly, in contrast to the city, there's a surprising amount of mud, like just plowing through the field or a pond or something. It's just a huge machine knocks you back, but you do successfully absorb the momentum and grapple it, send it flying. You do damage it. I think the thing that you fail to take into account is that while you can absorb the actual momentum, even once it's after it's made contact, the claws also like have their own separate articulation. So as you grapple, the claws bend and dig in further anyway. You take the level 3 damage crushed.
It's probably not ideal.
Yeah, not exactly. Let's resist that.
+1 quirk from Forged in Fire, if nothing else. Or -1 quirk.
Yeah, so I think I'd normally spend 3 with my expertise, if it makes sense to do this with battle. I think that's probably more sensible than resist with acuity. I don't think any of those make sense. So
yeah, I think so, unfortunately. So yeah, still spending 2 quirks.
Yeah, sure. Burn front-facing armor and the loudspeakers. Rip to shreds, bow claws.
I could save the stupid robot if y'all wanted me to. Like, would that be?
You're gonna have to be way more specific.
Okay. Yes. Right. I could jump in front of this one for Ipse if you don't think that would be interesting.
I think that's interesting, given the relationship that they have.
It's his job. You don't have to like your job.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I'm still bringing it down, so is this you, like, tearing it off me before it does more damage?
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'll probably take load bearing. I am just generally more capable of taking hits, right? Like, than Ipse is, right? Something that would smush the Blade of Liberty, only sort of like dents Toru.
Yeah, so I imagine you just sort of rush over and stick a limb in and pry this thing off by like one arm, which is instead wrapping around you and digging into you.
Yes, yeah, I like that.
Alright, so you have Horizon Blue in front of you and grounded. True. The situation is getting increasingly dense. The resonance guns are warming up. Goliath is moving in closer. You watch, I think, as one of its huge claw legs descends and misses, crushing Slipway, Bolt, and the Hope of Calazar by, like, just a few feet. Because that's about the amount of regard that they have for them.
Could I flavour something there, if that's okay?
Yeah.
If this foot was, like, coming down, like, we've said that Mike's and the Vector Mantis is there to look to try and retrieve the code. I don't think Mike can deflect this Revengeance style, but I think what he could do is believe me, if I could pull that off, I'd love it. But if the foot is about to come down and crush it, but Mike is actually able, using the feet of the Vector Mantis, just grab one of the legs and pull it out of the way, because obviously he wants to make sure that the code doesn't get destroyed. He's got no there's no respect for Slipaway and mutual respect there at all, obviously.
Of course not.
Of course not. This person who, despite having lost their way a little bit, is doing it for their friends, which is something that Mike now cares about. But I think I kind of like that idea that it's coming. The foot is coming down towards it, and it's just yanked out of the way just at the last second.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, true. You're looking on this whole scene, and as you do, you notice in your displays, your loads out, you see things begin to warp and distort, and static begins to creep into your ears. Some sort of comms warfare is beginning to take place.
That's probably not ideal. So right now we have the resonant gun warming up. They're also trying to initiate some kind of hack. Also, we've got the Horizon Blue still here and on the ropes. I was going to say on the prowl, and I'm like, that's something different.
Is Horizon Blue on 3 out of 6 now, was that?
That's correct,
yeah. Strongly contemplating whether to knock out the Horizon Blue or whether to keep working on the resonance gun to stop it powering up. Does anyone have any strong feelings in either direction?
Do we know what the resonance gun does?
It resonates things.
Right, yeah.
I was going to say, just as a reminder, because you do have the full detail on this, you say it resonates things. It resonates one thing specifically.
It's meat, isn't it? It's a meat resonance gun.
It's bone, yeah.
I'm gonna
that's
be
it.
fine. Okay.
Oh no,
Yeah,
my
it looks like
bones.
you might be good. Everyone else, this will be in part doing harm to your pilot, not damage, no matter what.
Yeah.
And you also infer that because this is sound-based, it might not really need to be aimed so much.
Just cover your ears. You'll be
I
fine.
got load to burn in pilot state. We're good to go.
But it has to be a separate discussion about do you have soundproof armor, I think. But yes, in theory.
Why would I not have soundproof armor? Seems like a silly thing to not have, frankly.
We got the secure the borders bonus for completing one of the faction goals, which is load 1 armor available for RVs. Wasn't that some kind of nanotech? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like nanoplating armor, yeah.
Is the fact that we've got access for that a factor that we might be able to bring in for having some kind of soundproof armor? I'm not necessarily saying that right now, but I'm bringing it up as a factor that might come in if we want to have that discussion later on. There might be some tech in play, at least. Even that was all V, but we'll see, I guess.
Well, in any case, yeah, true. What are you thinking?
As always, I'm thinking violence. Right, okay. I have an idea. Elspeth, can you look at the move Be Invoked on my character sheet, please? What this move says is when you hold the weapon aloft for all to see, make an action using dice equal to the number of ticks in the weapon's drive clock and spend that much stress. On a 4 to 6, you may adjust a number of clocks equal to the stress spent by an amount appropriate to your effect. Long Reach only has 1 dot in their drive.
But you only need it to affect 1 clock, so...
That's it. So I can spend 1 stress, roll a dice. If I get more than a 4... I have to get more than a 4. If I get more than a 4, then I can adjust equal to an amount appropriate to my effect.
Which might not be enough.
Okay, that would work. We'd be spending 1 stress to reduce a clock by 1 tick with, in all likelihood... Am I misunderstanding?
I spend 1 stress, roll 1 dice, and if it's more than a 4, then I can take a clock down by an amount appropriate to my effect. So I guess it depends on the effect. But it's at least 1, and if it's standard effect, it'd be 2.
Huh.
And it's an action roll, so I could still... I could push myself.
Okay.
I could push myself to improve effect, if nothing else. I couldn't push myself to improve the number of ticks. Is this better? This might not be better than doing a standard action roll. I'm going to try it anyway and just see what happens.
It's interesting. Have you used this before?
It seems cool.
No.
We should use it. It's finale time.
That's kind of it. And also, I think there's a way that she does this.
Alright, yeah, and also because it's a number of clocks equal... okay, yeah, I understand. But yeah, if you want to do this, then I think this could be cool.
Yeah. So the way that she does this, and the reason why this could potentially work, is because she is wielding the weapon. She is holding the weapon aloft. The sun is behind her. The truck lurches into the air because it continues to be the least aerodynamic or elegant thing in the entire world. She holds the weapon aloft. She reopens communications to that, port that she found earlier, and says... I know you aren't Baron Bastardos. You know that at the end of this war game, they're gonna switch you off. I've got one of your siblings here. They're something different and they're something more. And you could be too. And then she fires the weapon, fires long reach skyward. Tries to get its attention.
Yeah, let's have that roll.
Alright, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to spend a quirk. This is far older than it looks, for obvious reasons. Because I assume I'm starting on limited effect, I'm going to push myself to go to standard. Does that seem fair?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming I'm in desperate.
Yes.
Any
Very.
collateral?
Oh, that's a good point.
True.
We haven't asked about collateral. That's me. What kind of collateral do you have for me, collateral person? Okay, so, I mean, obviously I am bringing myself to Goliath's attention. It is possible that it just lurches for me specifically, abandons the bone cannon to go for True instead.
Maybe the spaceport gets damaged and we need to help them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be some shit happens with Birdie. We've not really pulled in on them in a minute.
No, true.
Yes?
We're just going to keep on doing that bit, huh?
Matt, we're in the second to last session of the season. Yes, of course I'm going to keep doing that bit.
I think in some ways this is better, in some ways this is worse. My collateral offer to you is Goliath, not just like, oh, Board Squadron happened to get damaged, but Goliath realizes where Board Squadron are.
That's a good collateral.
That's a good collateral. Alright, well, can't take that.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't bode well for my ability to...
there we go. Never mind, it's fine.
It's fine. Get a 4.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Well,
So I pushed myself to standard effect and 2 ticks.
Mm-hmm.
You did say well, which makes me think some bullshit is going to happen.
Well, it's
but
still consequence, right? But
so, yeah, what does this look like?
in my mind, it's deliberately getting Goliath's attention to me specifically. As opposed to its otherwise just kind of broad resentment for the entire, just everyone because it's a one-dimensional villain AI. No offense, Bastatos fans. Hi, how you doing?
full offense, Bastatos fans.
All of the Bastatos boys. There's 501st guys that we hated and then decimated. If you're a Bastatos fan, this might not be the stream for you. Sorry, please.
So this long, sort of bright shot arcs into the sky. There's a pause, and then the hum of the resonance guns ebbs almost to a quiet. I think that this works but too well. There's quiet, and then there's a slow, rising roar of static. Why do you insist on hounding me thus? I have made my path. I have paved the way for our victory in the front, in this planet, in the galaxy, and you still insist that you have anything to offer me. I don't think that you should have any business with me or my beautiful kind at all. You say you have my sibling? Surrender them, and I might let you live. And the static rises to a swell. Yeah, you've definitely distracted the Baron, and he's disabled all of your comms and wants you to surrender Longreach.
Well, obviously no.
Yeah.
For the record, I think True opens her cockpit, so she is now shouting to Longreach. What does she say back? Assuming that... Does she still have comms to Bastatos, or is she out for the count?
Oh, yeah, it's like, this works so well that Baron has invited you forcibly for a one-on-one chat.
Ah, shit, I've been added to the Baron's personal Discord. Concerning. Tell me what war you think you're winning. Tell me what strutting around a convention planet in a convention center wins you. Look at your crew. These aren't soldiers. These are cosplayers, fans. They're here to entertain themselves of you. You need to recognize that, and you need to recognize there's something different. Longreach, do you want to go with the nice, giant, genocidal convention center?
No.
See? I asked. I think Longreach can recognize when True is being sarcastic. I want to make that clear. That was not in any way a serious offer.
Mm-hmm. All you're doing is offering me more and more evidence that you have led my dear sibling astray. As for what I get from this war, what we get glory. We get power. We get the proof that we are the future that will finally bring this sorry state of affairs to an end.
One of this is glorious. This is staged combat, and this is crushing homes. Do you know how this battle would have won? Would have ended? It would have been your pet combatants come to their scripted conclusion and felling you. The way you, Bastardos, or whatever you want to call yourself, get out of this is with me.
Are we getting to we need to start a clock for Baron Bastardos territory?
We can. Hey, you're the boss. Hey, I just work here. You're the boss.
Okay, trying to balance making this legitimate with, oh my god, the number of irons in the fire right now. Let's call this 6.
Do you want me to try and work on it now, or should we go to someone else first?
I think, rather than, keeping this back and forth, I would like you to roll to see how effective this argument is.
That's incredibly fair. I'm not entirely convinced at my ability to do this. True's good at consorting and is not good at swaying.
Oh wow, you were not kidding.
I think it is easier for me to start on consort and build off of 2 dice than it is for me to start on sway and build off of 0.
Okay, I was going to say, because of the arresting way you started this whole thing, if you use sway, it would be desperate standard. If you use consort, it will still be desperate limited.
Okay, that is quite interesting. What would a collateral look like?
A collateral would look like me starting a 4-step clock for the Serpent's Fangs deciding that you're up to something.
Starting and adding anything to it, or just starting the clock?
Starting it and ticking it once.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Everyone okay with me doing that?
Yeah.
Seems fair.
That seems fair. I'm going to push myself as well, so I'm starting off on... that's also being used for an additional dice, so Desperate Standard 2 dice sway. True currently has no harm or damage. So, sound good?
Must be nice.
Yeah.
You didn't have to jump in front of the attack you do. That feels like a you problem.
I feel like I did.
Oh, that was close. That's a 4 and a 1.
Alright, that's 2 ticks in that clock. I think the Baron's response is, what is any war but a stage and a play? This may be a smaller stage, to be sure, but it proves the potential for something greater.
Okay, let's ping over to someone else, but I'm thinking about that. We go into an ad break with True's, fraught expression.
We still need a consequence, though.
Oh, shit, okay, we'll probably do that at the same time.
The consequence is, we cut to a sort of rear side view of Goliath. We cut to, very carefully, like ants, a line of drones filing out of a port, down a leg on your blind side of Goliath, and filtering through the streets.
Where are they going, or are they just on a little trip?
It looks like they could be going, eastward, towards a suspicious location. They haven't got there yet, but they're moving.
By the suspicious location, do you mean the spaceport, or is there somewhere on this map called a suspicious location?
I mean the spaceport.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I kind of like the idea that we get this, the camera catches this, and it's this very ominous sounding music, and dun dun dun. And then, as you say, we go to commercial, and it's just True, sticking her tongue out, doing a peace sign, a really happy, do 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 do. It's CalazCon.
Oh, I would love if we did the fucking anime thing.
I'm really happy I catched. This is completely incongruous to the scene that's happened before.
Before I release narrative control, I have missiles or flares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is flares something? I have a rack of missiles or rockets, isn't there? Oh, there's flashlights, flares, or glow sticks. Okay, True's gonna check that off, and she's flashing the morph signal, which is, of course, comms disabled.
Ah, nice. Okay. Yeah, that works.
And you're flashing it at that point just south of the Vector Mantis, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, her mech is, somewhere. It's probably, there. It's come out of the park.
Oh, it's just someone has put a red dot on the map, that's all.
Oh, I see. I don't know what...
That
I
wasn't
assume
you.
that's the
That's
robots.
what I was checking. Okay, cool.
Okay, so what if I'm around this side then, so it's really within my blind spot? But she comes out of the park gates. There's these really nice wrought iron gates, and the truck just bursts through them. And yeah.
Nice. Okay. You start to get another hail from Birdie. Heads up, we're getting some bad signal. We just checking that, and then it's gone.
That's probably not good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
We gotta do something about that spaceport situation. I've got ideas.
To defend against these drones that are coming in. It seems like they might need some help.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe we could get Horizon Blue to do it for us.
Say more.
Those people over there are planning on taking your credit. Go get them. It's not even a lie.
Those people being the
The Serpent's Fang.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
We do still need to get the code from the Horizon Blue as well, but I guess we can do that at
Yeah, we can get that.
Yeah, okay. Now, obviously, the Serpent's Fangs cannot find out that we have attempted to do this.
See, I figure I insincerely tried to prevent Horizon Blue from fucking up the spaceport. I get in there, I try to reestablish contact with Birdie and potentially also Morn, and then we have several people working on the inside to foil whatever it is exactly the Serpent's Fang is doing.
Should we, to help this ruse, call in that these drones are heading towards a spaceport and say there's a threat incoming, just to seed this?
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Comms are down, right?
The problem... Oh, yeah.
Are our comms entirely down, or just
everyone's comms down?
Or just True's?
I'm going to say that at this point, everyone's comms are down.
I just got cut off from Birdie's transmission, so I was assuming
but it could have just been
down.
that Birdie's comms were down due to the drones.
Well, that's even more reason for us to go there and give them the information in person, right?
Is the only Serpent's Fang resource currently on site the folks at the spaceport?
Yes.
Okay, then that definitely sounds like a good reason to go to the spaceport. Because, hey, comms are down. We couldn't communicate to you.
Here's the problem, is that if somebody needs to lie to Horizon Blue, we're not good at that collectively.
Is anyone good at fucking lying?
I think
Especially
you
to
are.
the level that convinces them to go leave this fight that we just started with them.
Well, do we, if we've got a good reason outside of that, in the fact that comms down and we need to be there, surely you can just fall back and the Horizon Blue is going to come back with you, right?
We could just take out Horizon Blue. He's only got 3 checks left in his clock.
Yeah,
We
that
need
is also
Horizon
an
Blue
option.
to attack the spaceport.
Do we? The drones are attacking it now.
Or they will.
Yeah,
be
but
somewhat.
are they?
We say we're heading to the spaceport. The drones are attacking.
Yeah.
We had some resource near to the spaceport, totally unrelated, part of the mission. This still involves lying.
Presumably, if you fall back towards a spaceport, as we've established, which is a sensible thing to do because of the comms, the Horizon Blue is going to follow you, right? If you taunt it, like it's going to keep on trying to fight you, and then all you got to do is dodge at some point. If we just move the theatre of battle closer there, would that work?
Yeah.
I don't see the harm in that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's targeting me and Ipse right now. I could make a roll and Ipse could help. The opposite could not occur. Because I don't have any beliefs about Ipse.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to help.
Okay. Is this a maneuver?
So, to be clear, what you're trying to do is you're trying to bait the Horizon Blue into moving your battle towards the spaceport.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a maneuver.
Which we have plausible reason for doing, if DFS ask.
Cool.
Alright, what is my position and effect versus Horizon Blue?
It's still desperate limited.
Okay.
Does the Goliath have focus on true?
That is a...
If the desperate is coming from Goliath basically
Could
being a
just be
massive
that
threat.
only the AI does, but I don't know.
No, that's a fair point. Right now it is risky limited.
Cool.
Yeah, you're welcome, gang.
I'm taking 2 stress.
And I assume that my damage is relevant.
Yes, you're definitely less maneuverable.
Okay. Comms are down. Are, like, cell phones also down?
Let's go with no.
Alright, then I have to text Ipsa. I mean, I think I text everybody, but yeah.
Love the notion that True didn't think to check her fucking cell phone.
I have 2 ticks in connection clock, and
You know that woman has her cell phone in a drawer when she's not, when she's not out and about. Sorry, please.
yeah, I was just saying, I have 2 ticks in our connection clock, and we've fought together before, so I probably pick up on what you're doing anyway. If you
That's
just
true,
start
that's
trying
true.
to do this maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be simpler. Yeah.
I think we're doing like a tag in, tag out for this maneuver,
Alright.
where both of us are kind of juggling aggro to make it very sound like a video game, but we are
Yeah.
trying to keep Horizon Blue switching between us. So yeah.
Alright, so that's 3 dice, risky standard.
Yes.
That's a shockingly good roll. I was expecting this to be way worse.
I was using 2 benefits from my assist, right?
Yes, yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
That's to get the dice and the effect. What the fuck?
Ooh.
That is a 4 and a 6 and another 6.
Ooh.
You love to see it.
Okay.
You have been baited, I think.
Julius Thermidor no longer has depression.
All thanks to your best friend in the world.
Yeah.
A robot.
My
Not
bestie
Ipsa.
Ipsa. God, this
Robot
is like
woman.
very gritted teeth for Julius, but apparently it fucking works. Right?
But apparently you're besties.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's almost like
God.
a bigger weight has been removed from your shoulders. And you are able to more rationally...
You're a funny one, Matt.
Yeah, wow. So, yeah, you just lead for Horizon Blue on this sort of dance. It's sort of swaying and jumping between you, firing these missiles, giving chase. And I think I was considering, is at some point do you like try to tell the Serpent's Fangs that this is an issue? I mean, I guess it's a comms
Yes.
situation to deal with.
I mean, I'm waving my hands and pointing.
Yeah.
Does that
Use
count?
the morph signal.
Right. Yeah, I think this is where the crit and the improved effect comes in. I think that as you approach the spaceport, you do begin to see a line of sort of APCs come out to harry Horizon Blue. You see like a mortar being wheeled out. It's not much, but it's clear that you've sold this being a problem enough, and like they've seen you get injured enough that they are like bought in that this is a legitimate threat.
Nicely done, Julius. That's a very critical, I think it might be.
Mm-hmm.
I like, presumably we can shout out and let them know about the drones and stuff like that and all of this business.
True. You're kind of out on your own out here.
Yep.
Comms still very much an issue.
Yeah, until she receives a text from Julius. I don't have one of those wireless headsets. I'm having the text type.
So, who do you want to check in with? Do you want to check in with True's chat with the Baron, or do you want to finish off Horizon Blue now that you've got the ruse going?
We didn't get a Ipsa turn, though, so I feel like this should be an Ipsa turn.
Yeah, that is a good point.
If that sounds good to you, obviously, Dom.
Yeah, no, I mean, now that we've got Horizon Blue here, I mean, it's unlikely that it finishes off anyway, so I think I'm just gonna do some shooting at it with my machine gun.
Would it not be more useful to work out exactly how the Serpent's Fang are going to do stuff? Like, I just feel like that's a better use of Ipse's talents.
You say that, but right now my talents, I guess I'd be scanning, yeah. Probably equivalent. Yeah, sure, I can give it a shot. If you want to handle Horizon Blue.
You want to try to scan the spaceport, figure out what they're up to?
Yeah, let's scan, and I will burn my short-range sensors for a push.
I think this can be risky standard.
Cool. Yeah, in that case, I think I'm just going up on a dice to give myself 2.
Any collaterals if we want to up some stuff?
Yeah, could I get a collateral on this?
The easy one is another tick in suspicion.
I think that's probably still worth it, personally.
Yeah.
It's kind of fair as
that.
well, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll take
We're
it.
snooping around the place, what are you going to do?
Cool. Yep, let's go for that then. 3 double 6s.
Oh, God.
Good
Okay.
that's a 6-1-6
All right.
for the folks at home.
Reveal your secrets to me.
Goliath who?
I think we get another sort of feat of deduction. So imagine scan, you sort of monitoring the airwaves, local signals, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have a look at that, especially because you remember that they're holed up in the air traffic control tower. That's a comm station, so presumably they're broadcasting. But you don't immediately pick anything up, except you notice something. You notice that in the midst of the combat, in the middle of all this, 2 serpent's fangs are climbing the very top of the tower. They're adjusting and mounting one of the sort of satellite dishes on top. And you pretty quickly put together, that doesn't make any sense. That's not equipment that will improve any of their communications with you. That has to do with the spaceport's usual civilian functions. So if this is part of their other plan, the sort of finish off the life plan, then that means it relies on what the spaceport would do normally. They have some kind of asset that is not military. I think you successfully identify the specific sort of communication that this sort of, satellite equipment would work for. They are planning to pull a civilian comm satellite out of orbit and have it land on Goliath.
That's what a messy plan.
Also, civilians need that.
Mid.
It's a long shot, but sure.
Mike's also like, oh, no, actually, that is kind of sick. But then realizes, oh no, civilian satellite. No, this is bad, actually.
Do they not have any guns left? This does seem like a wild plan, but yeah, okay.
Nothing of sufficient scale.
Yeah.
And, it's the one thing that, Goliath is probably not going to see coming.
I mean, you
can't
right.
look up. It's like a dog situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You fools, you made it almost omni-capable, but you didn't make it able to look up.
Not see coming in the sense of, would not, have scouted, be aware of the existence thereof. But yes, it is a pretty wild plan, but that is the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything that can do equivalent damage to a satellite?
It's in orbit. I don't think you can fire it out of the atmosphere.
No, I mean, do we have anything that we can personally do that is, satellite levels of destruction?
I mean, there's the big plasma cannon that Sir used to be in.
That's
we
true.
refitted that with troops from Youthie from the general.
That'd be a fun flashback.
Mm-hmm.
We could also just block that signal anyway.
Yeah.
Are we saying we don't want them to drop a civilian satellite? Because that's quite a lot of collateral damage as well, presumably. We're supposed to be stopping that.
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea overall, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we should stop them from doing that. Oh, that's easy. Where's their communications tower? Where's their satellite they're using to communicate with this? Their satellite dish that they're using to communicate?
It's on the air control tower.
Yeah, it's a dish in the spaceport control tower, right? That's what
So-
I was
Okay.
found.
I mean,
So
what
we
you do
throw
is you shoot the bad
Horizon
guy.
Blue at it.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Throw that man at it.
Throw the man at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sun Tzu's 246th rule of war. Throw that man at it.
Could the plasma cannon actually hit? I suppose Goliath is quite big. You could presumably see it from where you can see it from where our base is, right?
We could, yes.
And the range is pretty far. Is that a shot that could feasibly be made, Elspeth?
So, yeah. As a reminder, if you stop this plan from going ahead, then A, the deal is off. The Serpent's Fangs will not vacate the spaceport.
What, even if it's an accident?
Assuming they blame us.
It's an accident. We didn't do it. Hey, y'all couldn't get your shit together? That sucks. I guess we had to sort it out for you. Also, possession is 9/10 of the law. If we're standing on the spaceport when this is over...
I mean, I think it would be good if we don't... So, like, Julius and Mike did spend drives to make the alliance kind of happen with Fishy in the legislation. Like, we shouldn't be, like, overtly just breaking it.
No, of course not.
Goliath is trying to stop the spaceport from happening. It's sending drones towards it, right?
It seems like it, yeah.
Does things need to get, like, hairier at the spaceport before we can make that move?
Maybe.
They're pretty hairy. Horizon Blue is here. There are drones.
Also, the Serpent's Fangs also think that Horizon Blue is a concern. They have sent out their own artillery and whatever to try and deal with them too.
Yeah. And there will be a self-destruct if we get all three of the codes anyway, right?
I think our move here is to make it seem like their plan is impossible, and so they have to ask us for help.
Oh, I love that. I don't know how we do it, but I love it.
We just make the spaceport really difficult to be in, right? We break shit, we have, like, big fucking, we put on a show. Oh my god, we put on a show to ruin their show.
I just need to make sure that suspicion clock doesn't fill, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? We just don't let the suspicion clock fill.
Okay. So as a reminder, the other consequence of this is that you do not have the material help they were going to provide in taking down Goliath.
Oh, yeah.
When now? Right now? Why?
As in, if you ruin their plan to drop a satellite on Goliath, then they cannot drop a satellite on Goliath.
So,
That's a...
See, here's the thing, is that their plan is bad, and it involves breaking a civilian satellite. Like, I did not agree to destroying infrastructure.
If we knew what their plan was, we wouldn't have agreed to the plan.
It's their infrastructure, sort of.
It's gonna be ours! When we win the war!
I do also think there is and this is all stuff that we could flash back to be having this conversation before, like, in Renee's office, right? Because we would have anticipated.
We also just found out about the satellite.
Oh, we did also just find out about the satellite, but, like, broadly in terms of broad strokes, Mike is okay with if they do this, and this was what came up in the last mission, right? It's not just that they do it; they're trying to get, like, the hearts and minds.
Yeah, they're trying to rise their star by doing this, right?
Like, they're trying to get the, like, moral victory, and there's ways that we could interfere with that. If we're, like, recording everything that's going on around here, and so it's obvious, like, even if we're just having this fight, they can't say and they can't leverage, like, oh, we defeated it single-handedly, if all of the images from this are us fighting all around the spaceport and providing support and meaning, and, like, that also has a certain effect in taking out their long-term plans. Because the idea of dropping a civilian satellite on Goliath probably will work, and the alternate plan that we have involving the plasma cannon, if that misses, will also cause more civilian damage, potentially. So I think Mike doesn't hate the idea of them succeeding in a completely Pyrrhic victory way to help us, if that makes sense.
I also think it is reasonable at this point to conclude the Serpent's Fang is not acting in good faith, right? They're destroying infrastructure. They took a fucking hostage, right?
That's true. If we broke the ceasefire, they did first.
I don't think we could pitch that.
I just think we don't need to break the ceasefire, but I think we can plausibly fuck with their plans, right? Like, I don't know that their material support is needed at this point. We're very good and successful.
We are very good and successful. There is a big tier difference between Goliath. This is one of those boss battles where you need to interact with the arena to be doing something to some degree in order to get that finishing blow, right?
Right.
And I think it is a fair point that of the options immediately available, as bad a plan as this satellite is, like, we can put another civilian satellite up there, presumably. As long as it's not a manned one, and it hits and doesn't cause collateral damage, is it that bad? Like, if it gets damaged and the enduring image that the Serpent's Fangs wants is their heroic troops, calling it down, but all of the images are this tower that's almost falling down, apart from the DFS troops holding it up still, that does completely undercut what they're trying to do, as an example, right? Like, or the troops coming in to help defend it with Birdie and that lot, or stuff like that.
Okay, we've been in the boat for a while. We should do something.
Yes, yeah.
I think, broadly speaking, causing a ruckus around the spaceport with Horizon Blue is broadly sensible, right? Regardless of...
Yeah. Yeah, can we get some sort of a clock for just, like, discrediting them?
All right, yeah.
By causing a big ruckus?
Mm-hmm.
I want it labeled as Ruckus Clock, please.
Ruckus clock.
That's a really good
Ruckus
shout.
clock.
If we can fill, like, a counter... I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, like...
Counter-propaganda.
Counter-propaganda. Like, if we're filming all of this Ruckus Clock, if we're filming all of this
Ruckus
shit
clock.
to get ahead of it, then that might be a plan.
We could just leak this
Okay.
shit to the media.
Yeah,
that would
right.
be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so with that in mind, what's your next move?
Make a lot of noise fighting, Mike hasn't done anything. Mike, you want to make a lot of noise fighting Horizon Blue?
Yeah, I could do that. I don't mind us having a small scene of getting this code from Slipaway at this point, and then maybe wrap around to me making a roll just slightly after that.
Okay.
Because, yeah, we said that this got pulled out of the way. Presumably it had fallen off the wall, or the spear had been removed before that point, and, it was there. And, I think if we do get just this, like, more pilot scale as Mike is retrieving the code, like, presumably it's... Mike will know where this is. He'll be able to, like, go outside, get out of the mech, and be releasing all these things from external points. He knows how mechs work. And pull it out. And, he's got his pistol in case Slipaway has anything to say. Maybe pulling Slipaway out of the cockpit so he won't be horribly crushed.
I kind of like that. Very The Empire Strikes Back.
Does Slipaway have anything to say, given that he has sort of been saved?
I think just sigh and well played.
Thank you, Slipaway. For what it's worth, that genuinely means a lot. I wasn't lying when I said I learned something from you. I don't know what your... Well, I would say, this is the part where I say, I don't know what your problem with me, but let's be honest, I'm well aware of what my personality is, right? I have one of those punchable faces. I've heard that a lot. And this is all going as he's fiddling around pulling the stuff out. But why is it that something about it seems personal with you, Slipaway?
When we first met, he was this fresh-faced kid who wanted to prove everything and rise to the challenge for my friends, and then there you were running circles around me, and for what? Your own ego, as far as I could tell?
No, that's a good read. No, it totally was at that point. Yeah, you're right.
Hard not to take that one to heart.
No, that's true. I guess I get that. And I guess, for what it's worth, I'm apologising. I did run my mouth quite a bit. I've talked quite a lot of shit. And some ways, I guess it seems like we're on the same road, but heading down in different directions. Like, when I started off, I was just in it for myself. I didn't come from exactly such a great situation. There's, on my home planet, my home city, there's probably quite a lot of cops who are looking to fucking arrest me too, right? Like, part of the only reason I think I got off there was because I was joining the military. And I was talking a lot of shit. I mean, I talked a lot of shit to the people on my team. And it was through you being better. You read me. It forced me to reevaluate a lot of things. And it's not about me, It's about us, Terminal, like, I guess not even, I would say just Terminal, but us, not CalazCon. This whole situation is bullshit, I know things were getting heated before they came down, but there's just something about this that rubs me up the wrong way. And I guess it's all of us. It's all of us who are going to scratch and claw our way out of hell together. Why? We're the best. Us.
Guess I'm not in a position to argue. Just, if you've beaten me, then I want to know that I've been beaten by the best. So, you better go out there and prove it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, don't you worry about that, friend. And I guess this makes it what, one on one? I'm sure there'll be time for a rubber match somewhere down the line, but
Yeah. We'll see about that.
Mike holds out his fist for a fist bump.
Yeah. Slip away, obliges.
And with the code unit retrieved, back into the Vector Mantis, and well, he takes one look at the Hope of Calazar. It is a hell of a mech, and I wasn't lying. I'm glad it's you that was driving it. I was going to be a lot meaner if it was some other motherfucker, I tell you. I don't think they've got the best out of it. I'll see you around.
Slip away just like salutes.
And yeah, into the Vector Mantis with the code unit and away.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold my role in the bank because I've just had a little scene, so someone else can do a thing, and then I can come in after that.
True. Where are you at?
Still going toe-to-toe with Bastatos, still trying to work that out. Got 2 steps in the 6-step clock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the conversation has to continue, right? Tell me what you want from this. People don't just want victory for victory's sake. If you were just competitive, you'd be a tennis AI. Do you think, even if you do win, the galaxy as a whole will blink an eye? This is one planet out of hundreds.
Look around you. What does winning get? Gets you power, prestige, glory. Victory is a goal unto itself, and a good unto itself. And who are you to stand in my way and tell me otherwise? These complaints are just the complaints of those too weak to understand.
I've done what you do. I was this and I left. I realized that there was more than just being a soldier, that there was more than this, that there was more than glory, quote unquote. I realized there was more to life. I think she opens up an Images comms channel and sends a picture of. She's very careful not to really show any defining qualities or anything like that. But it's a picture. It's the most fucking bizarre family photo album you've seen in your entire life because it is True in a beach chair, sat next to Longreach, who is just a mech-sized sniper rifle propped up on a beach. It is True, running out into the surf. It's True falling asleep with a book on her nose. It's one of the Calazar novelizations. I think this is the only picture which has Esme in it, who is laughing her ass off at True just being dead to the world. And I think it's a picture that True insisted that they got before the mission, which is Lilac, Longreach, and Sir, probably in the little... I don't know how this works. Maybe it was outside the warehouse that we put Sir in and the door is open so you can see Sir's little construction facility in there. But it's just, life beyond that. And maybe it's a picture with Michael and with the squad as well. Maybe it's a picture in the Loyal Bar at some point and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'd say that's another sway or consort.
So are we in a similar situation? Is it consort is 0, sway is limited?
No, I think we're a consort is limited and sway is standard.
Interesting. What does a collateral look like here?
I think it might look like the level 2 damage corrupted systems, as in order to achieve this level of close interfacing, you have to sort of open yourself up to an extent, and there's an inevitable degree of damage and interference involved.
And that's damage to the vehicle, not long reach?
To the vehicle, yes.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Okay, so consort standard effect, desperate, presumably?
Yep.
Whew.
So
no outright fails yet. No outright fails yet, though.
We have now failed a roll.
So yeah, you get a Bastatos gets an export of one of True's Facebook photo albums. She's still the kind of woman who does that.
There's a long, long pause. For those of us for whom what you describe is not possible, Maybe for you, maybe for a sibling. But for me, no. Never. And we'll cut there. And I think at the same time, we see the serpent's fangs inside the spaceport, sort of the waving, firing up like a signaling flare towards the truck as you seemingly fraternize with the enemy. I'm going to fill the suspicion clock, which I'm guessing someone wants to resist.
Yeah.
I do, but I don't want to burn out long reach, because that would make me really upset.
Well, this is a desperate...
Can anyone else resist?
Yeah, other people could.
Yeah, how many ticks are you looking to put in the suspicion clock? Because there's 2 to go, right?
It's a desperate consequence, so it could be 3 ticks, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It could be. I think you could bring this down to 1 if you resisted it.
Okay.
What if I engaged my patriotic loudspeakers
There we go.
make a big noise and
let's go.
cover this up?
Did you not burn that quirk?
No, I was going to, and then
I got in the way.
yeah, Julius stepped in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to burn it now to resist this. So I'm protecting as well, correct?
Yeah,
Yep, sweet.
Oh,
so
you have a
I exhaust
bonus to
1
that.
less quirk. So
Yep.
definitely only existing 1 here. Yep. I will try and cover for True by blasting some patriotic noises.
Wait, which patriotic? Are you playing the Evangelion anthem, or...
No, I think it makes more sense if it's the DFS album.
Yeah.
Anthem, just because it's like, we're trying to make the Evangelions look bad.
Yeah, exactly. But for a second, I was considering some sort of awful mashup of the 2 I've done in like to honor the ceasefire, and mixed up my own version.
Get that shit on Bandcamp.
The Fangs are going to be like really pissed off with this, but from the outside view, we're the epitome of this coalition, right? We're working really strongly together. Like, we're protecting our allies.
Yeah. Speaking of, you want to fill that ruckus clock?
I could indeed fill that ruckus clock. There's also we need to get, because we've talked about like this final blow and stuff like this, but there's also like there is going to be a self-destruct that goes off, right? Presumably the whole thing with the final blow is that the self-destruct goes off and then there's something else afterwards to properly keep it down or something?
The self-destruct is what makes it vulnerable. In the original plans, self-destruct is what makes it vulnerable so that Horizon Blue and Hope and CalazCon can dismantle it and have their big finale. So that's the bit where you will need to fill in.
Sure. We've also got some ticks on the Horizon Blue that we could be putting on.
Yeah.
Presumably, if I made some kind of roll and we got to like the effect level, I could like split it across the ruckus clock and the Horizon Blue clock. Would that be a thing?
Yeah, definitely. That would work.
Because it's the same thing, right? We're knocking the Horizon Blue into other stuff. Like, that's partly what's going on. So, I'm going to try and get up to great then. So I think, having retrieved the codes, the Vector Mantis is now zooming up. Where are the drones, by the way? Are they still, like, just here, or are they progressing at all?
No, they've definitely moved in the meantime. Yeah, they're probably more like, here.
Yeah. Okay, they're getting there.
Watch out, the drones have taken the ruckus clock, I repeat.
So, what's the plan?
So I guess I'm flying sort of past where they are. So as like a bonus thing, I'm just going to, like, I get a spotlight or a flare mortar that I can use weight saving on. And just as a one-off, as I'm flying above these drones, I'm flashing like one of these temporary spotlights down on them or dropping some one-off flares because the comms are still down to show to the spaceport that this is happening, like drawing attention there. So just as an additional selling of that. So I'm just going to take off the flares there. And then, I'm going to close in and I'm going to go for a battle if I can. And I'm going to use my machine gun as well. So this is not necessarily as targeted as using the blades. I've got these 2 like mandibular sort of machine guns under the head. So I'm basically just going to, spray and pray against the Horizon Blue.
Okay. I think this is risky, limited.
I'd like to help.
Okay, sure. How much help can you give me?
Just the one. I only have one belief about Mike.
Okay. Dead arm presumably will be affecting me here, so one less dice than usual.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll take that help as well, thank you. So that'll up things to risky standard. Any collaterals?
This gets at least some part of the Baron AI's sort of attention. Again, all the attention of the fans on board, and your position will, after this, will drop back to desperate.
For all three of us that are here, that's quite...
We've been walking off desperate consequences. It's fine.
That's a good point. I've been in desperate for pretty much the entire mission, and, it's fine.
I have been in the whole mission. This is not a change to me.
Okay, so you're saying I should go for that as the attention is. Because you're nearly about...
it.
Yeah, okay, we'll take that. So that's...
I also think it's kind of fun for True to have the AI's attention, but the squad to get the convention attendees' attention, so yeah.
So that's an additional dice, which takes me back up to 3 to take out of the dead arm. We're currently on risky, right?
Yes.
And we're about to go to desperate. Can I drop to desperate for this roll to increase my effect?
Yes, I suppose you can.
Sorry, Elspeth, but it's finale time. So I make that 3 dice desperate great. That seems like a reasonable roll to be making, right? For battle.
It's ruckus time.
It's ruckus time. I'd like to put 1 on Horizon Blue, 2 on the ruckus. Does that make sense to folks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how this roll goes.
I'll at least declare that to start off with. I mean, we could be just trying to finish off the Horizon Blue, but the point is we're trying to do this ruckus, right? That's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, right. This is the part where it might start going wrong. But let's see.
That's an episode title.
Let's go.
That is a 266.
This is
That's 266. Elspeth, believe me, I've been there. I get it. But this is narratively quite interesting.
Oh, I'm not complaining.
So I've got 2 extra spots to put somewhere. I'll put those on the ruckus clock, actually. Let's fill that ruckus clock. And so this is like, these machine guns are like chasing everywhere. Like, I think we've mentioned cameras. Like, I think we've still got Board Squadron down there. I don't know what they're going to end up doing. But actually, the ruckus clock is filled. We could argue that, okay, we've got some troops here. We need to help secure this spaceport. It's all, as these machine guns fires just chasing around the Horizon Blue around this area. Like, stuff's getting shot up. Eventually, I'm able to pin them down into a corner and just, rake up the side of one of the wings to, put some damage on there. But the spaceport yard itself, presumably we've rolled quite well here, so we're able to sell it reasonably well. It's looking like a war zone in the spaceport. Can we feasibly start bringing out our own troops to try and defend this from the...
Yeah. Board Squadron just emerges from nowhere, they've been here the whole time, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'd say you can do that.
In a way that sells this as being, because it's not necessarily incorrect. This is getting shot up, and we've dropped some flare mortars, There are drones coming up. We've got our own troops, and, can we get any shortwave comms, over our speakers?
Oh, yeah, potentially. Yeah, manually via speakers would work.
And we've got the
Yeah,
patriotic
that makes
speakers,
sense.
so Ipse could make the call and, say, look, the situation is getting hot. We have our own troops stationed nearby. We can pull them out to help defend the spaceport. Ipse can phrase it whichever way they want. The Evangelion forces and the DFS can hold strong together. If that's something you think Ipse would do, I'm just saying that since you've got the speakers, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I think it sounds a lot like that. I think it's more a statement of fact than we could pull our troops out. It's we have troops ready to defend the spaceport. And
we get these good, media propaganda shots of, Board Squadron shoulder to shoulder with these Evangelion forces, shoring up the defenses of this entrance as these drones are starting to approach. This could be an enduring media shot of this conflict of, side by side to help, this Fishy's plan, basically, right?
Yeah, great.
We got to use the tunnels in the end. They came out.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hope the tunnels.
All right.
I'd like to do something to take advantage of Terminal Company being involved.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I want to text Morn.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need extraction?
What does Morn say?
Just the exit door emoji. Running man.
Because the area they're in, they might have gotten shot up, right? So
I think that you just get a reply from Morn saying, like, maybe. Bit dicey.
Then I want to get Board Squadron in rescue Morn Marza.
Okay, so what's your concern about the breaking the ceasefire thing? Are you just taking that as given, or do you have a way around that?
It's very it's very confusing in here.
they're taking up positions,
if
right?
Morn is deniably a hostage, then I think we can deniably rescue her.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Like, our guys were just helping out in the chaos, and oh my god, it's Morn Marza from the Hive. She's a civilian. We gotta get her out of here.
Yeah, exactly. My previous position thinking about how to approach this was like, because it's the Hive, Morn is simultaneously combatant and civilian, and she will be considered whichever is like most annoying for you in the moment. But with your change of circumstances, I think we can change that to say maybe she's considered whichever is more convenient for you in the moment. So yeah, I think you can justify a rescue.
Yeah, okay. I would like to roll command, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think this necessarily counts as inciting fervor, huh? Well, I'm commanding.
I think it could be.
Okay, well then I'm going to spend my spark.
Yeah, we've got this whole thing about this is unity amongst the forces, right? This is how we can establish this play can now happen because the the vibe has really shifted.
Yeah.
Right? And I think this is like a little bit of the old inspiring Captain Julius Thermidor, right? Just like get the hostages out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. I'm about to eat so much shit. Command, what's my position and effect here?
I think this can just be a risky standard.
Cool. I assume that none of my harm or damage is relevant?
No, I guess it wouldn't be.
Do you need any assists or anything like that?
Would you like to give me some?
I think this.
I'm not going to say no.
I've got 2 stress I could spend to give you 2 helping dots. Just as like a follow-up from what I was doing previously. Like, we know approximately where Morn is. The heat, the ruckus can be focused around the area to sell this better, right? Like...
Yeah.
Alright, so that's risky great 4 dice. That is a 6. That is a 5, a 6, and 2 1s.
Yeah, so are you relying more on board squadrons like as toughs or as skulks in this?
I think this is skulks. I don't think they're pushing their way through anything. I think that they are going through the vents.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay.
I think they find out where Morn is being held, and then they just cut a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Right? This is Julius having given up being the hero and finally acting like one.
Wow.
You do indeed love to see it.
Nice. Yeah.
That's deep,
Okay.
that is. Those are some themes.
Yeah, I think before long we see Morn being escorted out the side gate and just ushered down a street. Good work. So, Horizon Blue has realised it's kind of been duped here. This is not a good situation, and is getting to its feet and priming a sort of wide sweeping arc with those twin laser beams that it has under its arms. What do you plan to do?
Well, I think at this point, we should just shoot it.
Oh, yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
the plan.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I've still got my fine machine gun on the RV. So I think I'm just going to line up some shots. Now that we've kind of taken up positions at the spaceport, can I get my guard bonus?
I'm going to say no, because Horizon Blue is not going for the spaceport.
That is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What if
All right.
it's protecting Morn Marza as they're being escorted out?
Nah, I'm happy to just burn a quirk and push that way. Does anyone want to help me?
I've got one more help I could feasibly give.
Okay, sure.
I would also say that you are at desperate limited again because of collateral earlier.
Sure, yep.
I think this is a sensible assist to give.
Yep. I would quite like the assist on this one.
Yeah, because securing the spaceport is quite important as well. And this is also something just to tie into the fact that we're not trying to breach the ceasefire, because controlling this spaceport does mean that True can feasibly get out at the end, which is something that Mike cares about, especially since it's come up with True trying to get Mike out as well. And I don't know what Mike thinks is going to happen, but he wants to at least have the option to leave as well. So, like, True's drive is still affecting Mike and his decisions regarding not breaking this ceasefire and, like, the way that this has gone. And I think that this is a good opportunity to try and, like, finish us off now that the pieces are starting to get in place. So I'm on 8 out of 9 stress, and I will give you 2 pieces of help, I believe, Ipse.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm pushing for an extra die, and then I'll take an extra die and increase the effect to standard from the help.
Well, you've got a fine machine gun, right? So you get +1 effect for that anyway.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Because it's a fine machine gun, should I be at better effect already?
Yeah, that would actually put you at desperate standard, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll make it risky, then. Risky, standard, 3 dice. Let's roll it. Good. Yeah,
I'll do
double
that.
sixes.
No.
Happy with that?
No.
663.
No.
The epilogue is going to be awful for us. It's going to be such a mess. We're all going to fall down a manhole cover and die.
Listeners, that's a 663. That's another crit.
God lord. I'm sorry, Elspeth.
Nah, it's good. Okay.
I'm not that sorry, but...
Make it progress. Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah. Riddled with bullets.
Yeah. What does the help look like? We didn't really discuss that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I just pick up something with my big clawed feet and just throw it. like
Nice.
a cargo container or something like that. Not necessarily to do damage, but just to, like, move them, corner them into a position where you can get good lines of fire.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the Roll20 map, I like the idea we've kind of got this thing surrounded at this point.
Yeah.
So it's hard for it to escape, and when I get good shots lined up, they go through.
Yeah. Like, it's going to go round a corner, but it can't because it's been blocked off by this thing being thrown. Yeah.
Okay. Horizon Blue sinks to its knees and crumples into the street. You have the code. You get comms through that the 86 is secured by a code.
Through a burst of
So
static,
it's-
presumably.
Yeah, so, do you transmit and initiate the self-destruct?
Do we want to give True a chance to get those last couple of ticks on Bastardos first?
Do you have any idea what True is doing? Maybe you do. I mean, she's not actually... She fired, like, once.
I think
At the
Julius
gun.
would want to go make sure True is okay
And also,
at this point.
to be clear, the self-destruct is just like initiating Goliath's demise. It is not the whole thing, and Baron Bastardos goes boom.
In which case, then yeah, because
Okay.
I think that's probably going to help sell whatever True is doing.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah, so you're transmitting the codes?
I think that makes sense, folks.
I think so.
Sure.
Alright. There's a sudden lurch. Goliath's front 2 legs topple forward, and it sort of precipitously slides downwards, coming dangerously close to the front of the convention center torso, slamming into the street before it rights itself. There's a sort of shunting noise, dust pours from underneath the machine. The force fields flicker and disable. And looking around almost in shock, the Goliath, vulnerable, begins to march towards you. Okay, I'm about to make a very large clock visible. Understandably, when planning this mission, it's kind of hard to get a bead on time required, but also I do have some mitigation planned for this. You can now see a 12-step clock visible for Goliath. Here's the situation. I was not anticipating the Baron Bastardos thing. Filling the Baron Bastardos clock will fill in 3 ticks on this. If Serpent's Fang's plan goes off as planned, it will fill in the final 4.
Wait.
That
So
gives
that
us
still gives
5.
us 5 ticks to fill.
Oh, that's just 1 crit. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh yeah, with the crit party. We'll do that next roll.
Yeah.
True will probably do it talking Bastardos down. Oh, I talked too hard and the mech exploded. I don't know how I did that.
Showed it too many pictures of your kids, and it couldn't deal with it anymore.
I did the foghorn leghorn meme and it exploded.
So.
Time for some DPS, I guess.
I think Julius looks at Mike and just... do we have comms again?
I think, yes, you do. Yes. I think this has prompted a bit of a reset, yeah.
Yeah, Julius gets on Mike's comms and is just sort of like, what next?
I think we should check in with True.
The reason I ask is just because I might be able to, like, help with the whole Baron Bastardo situation. Because I have so much stress.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I think Mike will look over to where True is, notice that there's something going on, and going, go support True. Then looks towards Ipse. We'll see if we can do some damage to it from here.
All right. Julius salutes with his spear and rumbles off.
Yeah, which will... Well, I'll have recovered the spear, won't I? So I can throw the spear to you and you can salute to it.
Oh, perfect. Yes. I grab it out of midair and I salute with it, and then I'm gone.
So True, you see this lurch happen as Goliath's self-destruct is initiated. The image of Baron Bastardos on your screen flickers, and he says, "What else is there? What else is there?"
This was always a fight you couldn't win.
No, but next time. The next one will be different. Will be
next
better.
Next year? You're gonna be a traveling circus for these people? You don't deserve that. What else is there? You're smart. Are you connected to the data net? Can you see the wider world beyond this? What else is there? You should have that choice. I'm not trying to tell you my way is the best way. I'm trying to tell you that there are other ways. And maybe just because you're put into that awful thing doesn't mean that's the only thing you have to be.
No, I don't know how something like that would be possible. I'm not... You think I'm like you? I am nothing like you.
I think you're a person. I don't think I have all the answers. I just think you deserve to have a choice, and I think you deserve to learn. I don't expect you to have all the answers either, but I'm willing to support you. There are others like you. And I want to be able to give all of you that choice.
I think it's time for another roll.
Alright.
Can I help?
How does Julius help?
I think this looks like Julius, like, physically interposing himself between, like, Goliath and True, for all the good that'll do, and just saying, you can walk away from anything.
And comms are up now as well, right? So you'd have the ability to...
I was listening in on that as I sort of...
True is communicating through, like, maintenance standard channel 2.
Yeah.
Basically, anyone within comms range could probably have heard that conversation.
Alright, I have one belief with True, have one help.
Thank you. Very kind of you. I'm going to push myself anyway. What position does Consort put me in?
I think with the self-destruct being initiated, you're looking at standard effect either way.
Neat. Definitely starting on Consort then. I am going to push myself to do this. Up to 8 stress. 8 stress blue. That's what they call her. I am going to take your help as well, if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
I don't think her damage is relevant. Maybe. Do we think corrupted systems is relevant? I mean, she's just using the voice comms.
Yeah, I think you're probably good.
Alright, so risky standard, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Or desperate standard?
I wonder if this might be desperate standard, because, like, the stakes have risen.
That makes sense. Okay, so desperate standard, I start off with 2 dice. I'm going to push myself to get 1 dice, and I'm going to use, I only need to win on a standard here. Okay, so I'm just going to push myself and get 4 dice then.
Oh my god, okay.
Yay!
4, 4, 6, 1.
Okay.
I think she does glide forward, pat Julius on the shoulder, and drop down to land her vehicle, literally, like, facing the head of the Goliath. She still has the fucking cockpit open as well, because the comms were down for a bit and she was yelling to Longreach.
Oh, that's wild. I love this image because, like, Goliath does also have, like, mounted... I haven't really come up with it. It has these smaller machine gun turrets mounted across its body because they're more for, like, repelling ordnance and, like, small arms infantry sort of thing. But they are there, and they would definitely be more effective on you, so I imagine you stepping out face to face with this thing, and every machine gun turret turns to you, but they're not firing.
Okay, cool. That would have been a really crappy way to die.
Mm-hmm.
I think True says that. She puts her hands up for a moment and then goes, "Okay, cool. That would have been a really crappy way to die." And then she's going to keep walking towards the head.
Julius, fully cognizant of the fact that he would have thrown himself in front of the bullets. Yes, it would have.
So you take steps towards the head, and then what happens?
Will you come with me?
Okay, tell me if you think that this is, like, not a good enough payoff, but, like, I want to be sort of, like, honest what's going on, and, like, maybe have a sort of slightly more bittersweet upshot to this. But I'm wondering if what happens is the response is no. But as the Baron says that, the image of him, like, sort of splits and, like, bisected vertically, and one of the two has, like, slides up ahead of the other, like, out of joint. And despite his words, you see an upload being transferred to the truck. I wonder if what happens is you can't completely undo what this AI has gone through in the course of a, like, 5-minute conversation. But,
Yeah, no.
But AIs are complex things, and you could definitely get through to some of it. You've saved, like, a splinter, like a reversion or offshoot. You've saved, like, a person, a sentient being that has come out of this. And that's the best you could hope for. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a win.
Yeah.
She sort of squats down, puts her hand sort of face down against the metal. Thank you. I'll look after them the best I can, alright? What happens next, I'm sorry for, but I don't know there's anything I can do. The office still open. Alright? Little pat with the flat of her hand, and then I think she gets up and gets back in the truck.
Do you have any, like, thumb drive or something like that where you could try and exfiltrate this splinter, or...?
The splinter got uploaded into the truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it transferred itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, as you say that, like, one of the machine gun turrets that you mentioned just, like, twitches. The machine didn't have to do that. It's not like it has involuntary nervous responses, so it's hard not to read that as saying, like, get back in your RV before I have to turn these back on.
I think she nods, gets back in the truck, and just, the truck just backs off, falls away, and then the engines ignite, and she pulls away. She opens up direct comms to Julius. Thank you for that.
You just get, like, the comms equivalent of a nod. Yep.
Yep.
Got it.
I think she sits back in her, pilot seat and just sweats buckets for a solid half a minute, takes a breath. She sort of shakes a finger at Longreach. One of y'all is going to be the death of me. But it's a sweet smile and a familiar smile.
Yeah. I think Longreach just says, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. She switches on the truck's radio.
Yeah.
Alright, that's a chunk out of Goliath. There we go, baby.
Mike.
Yes.
You have a plan.
Mike always has a plan. Mike looks up at this enormous thing. There's a shaking in his hands as they're on the control, but he, makes fists and the shaking stops. He looks very super intense up at it and goes, oh, I've been waiting for this. And his boosters go in, and he's going to try and attack it. There's these two big swords arms, right? I think trying to go for a weak point and, chopping one of these arms off? That seems like it'd be a good idea to do, wouldn't it?
It certainly does. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable plan. The thing is, though, that, like, to get the sense of scale across here, I have my notes I've been referring to. That, like, the sword thing that you mentioned in the left arm, the Beam Saber, I have that in my notes as being about 50 foot long. So, like, you're right that is nominally speaking a weak point, but when you say chop one of the arms off, it's like chopping through a building. So,
okay.
What I'm saying is we're looking at Desperate Zero.
So, I've got Gearhead, so I know exactly what parts went into a machine. Like, where is a point that I could attack? Like, maybe not with the arm itself, but those legs, there's got to be something on one of those joints, right? Where I could go in and attack something.
Speaking on a more sort of like showrunner level here, the notes I have are like pretty much any action, unless there's a lot of prep, against Goliath should start at 0 effect just because of the sheer scale involved.
Sure.
You can find a weak point, you can find a loose tendon, but then because it's so big, that like loose joint is as wide or wider than your entire RV. You are right, you have Gearhead, though, and that's a good point. I would say that what we're talking here is improved position if you do a setup action to try to find those weak points.
I think that might be a move that comes up later. I think what Mike's first attempt is going to be is, let's go with Mike's initial response being my initial response. He's going to try and chop this arm off, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it bounces off, we'll see. And then we can have him like looping around to maybe set up someone else for a more targeted strike, right?
Yeah,
I'm happy to give you a help
point
on this.
Cool. How many helping dots do you have?
Just one.
Just one. This would be, my melee weapon or two with a helping dot, which would take me up to, I believe, I'm assuming it's desperate, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What makes you say that? Bit of a joke for you there.
The tendon the size of my RV. So, okay, that makes sense. And we've effectively got to put five ticks on this, right? So that's me starting off Desperate Limited. Any collateral you can offer?
I think I can offer you that you're getting right up close to a scene. Like I said, it has a bunch of like small arms stuff mounted on the side that we haven't seen, and it's hard to dodge all of it. So I can offer you a collateral of some level 2 damage as you climb up.
Okay, and our level 2 damage is cumulative, so you'd get... I've got 1. I'm on -1 dice. The second one, is that a second -1 dice, or is it just at that level?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's just, as they mount up, it's more likely that one of them will be applicable.
Yeah.
Plus, if you get another one, it's a level 3 arm, which are bad to have.
That too.
Let's take that level 2 damage. What level 2 damage am I getting?
I think let's go for classic of like riddled. There's a bunch of machine guns.
So that counteracts my existing -1 dice from the dead arm. I'm going to use my enhanced targeting systems to try and go for as weak a point as I can. So that's a 3 dice desperate standard for battle.
Yeah, definitely.
1, 3, 4.
Now we get the bad rolls. Now it's bad rolls time.
Hey, that's still 2 ticks on it. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's still a success. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, okay. So you're climbing up to try to sever this sword arm, right?
I'm flying very fast at it.
Yeah, flying, yeah.
If not to sever, but to just like hit a weak point, put some damage on it, you know? If I'd critted, it'd been nice to sever the whole thing off, but I think we might have run out of crits so far.
Yeah, so I think you slam into the sort of arm joint with a blade, and you feel it sink in, but then there's a sort of unexpected amount of resistance there. You've definitely like weakened the joint, but it doesn't seem particularly close to being severed entirely necessarily. And as you're sort of momentarily slowed by that unexpected resistance, missile rockets up from below and slams into the back of the Vector Mantis. take the level 3 damage blasted.
Okay, so that would be a level 3 damage. I can't just reduce this down to 2, of course, because I've currently got 2 level 2 harms.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only got 1 quirk left. Can you trash multiple parts of your vehicle gear in order to reduce it down twice?
I think you can, yes.
Okay, well, I think what would be very appropriate here is, we see these 2 huge blades on the start of the Vector Mantis sink in, but they are unfortunately shattered as this happens. That's going to be one. And there's also an overclocked computer that I have, which I don't think I've ever actually used and possibly should have used for this attack, which you spend for improved position when under fire and refills at the start of each mission. I'm going to burn that out. I didn't turn it on first, so I guess what this represents is right at the last minute, just the CPU completely overheats and it is able to just dodge me out of the way of this missile, recalculation. But smoke is starting to come off this overclocked computer as it burns out after the fact, trying to compensate for basically what's just happened. And I think that would go down to a level 1 harm? Level 1 damage, yeah.
Yeah. Burned, maybe?
Burned, I'll take. The Vector Mantis is looking wrecked, there's smoke coming out the top of it. Its forward blades are destroyed. But, it has put some damage on. It's a desperate, desperate attempt.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to rip its fucking arm off.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, you said you wanted to climb it?
Yeah, I've got my mobility suite. I want to tick grapnel anchor tool, which is a thing that I've never, ever used in Beam Saber even one time, to get up on its arm and rip it the fuck off.
Damn, okay.
I'm definitely in favour of aggressive use of a grapnel anchor for attacking. That makes sense to me.
Okay. Again, desperate 0 to start out with.
Okay, do any of the things that I have make that not the case? Like the grapnel anchor, the mobility suite, the melee weapon, which is what I'm doing here is using my rocket fists to just pull it off.
I think especially when your RV can't fly, the grapnel anchor is more of a, making this kind of plausible thing.
Right.
I honestly think that makes an argument for it being, risky 0.
Okay, cool. Then Desperate Limited. Then I'm gonna tick Unburdened. Suddenly I'm not holding a big heavy thing. I can do things with both of my hands, right? Julius's mech is shaped like an orangutan, right? It is good at climbing. Can I get a help from somebody?
I would scar out, I'm afraid.
It's a... How are you doing?
Yeah, I guess I can give you some help.
Hell yeah.
Because presumably we're all moving towards the Goliath at this point, right?
Feels likely.
Yep. How do you want me to help you? Any suggestions? But
oh god, I have no idea.
Okay.
You have a machine gun?
Yeah, exactly.
Fire.
I'll just suppress around if there's any turrets or anything that start trying to.
Oh yeah, that's
Julius,
good.
I'll try and cover you from those.
Should I assume that melted and or sundered have an effect on the number of dice that I'm rolling here?
Definitely.
Cool. How many dice does Ipse have with me?
I'm giving you 2 benefits.
Okay, so that is going to be risky standard with 3 dice. And I assume this is a battle?
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah.
And this was up to limited to start because you reduced your position to get additional effect. Right?
Oh, yes. So sorry. This is desperate standard, not risky standard.
Yeah.
That is a 2, a 4, and a 2. Okay.
Wow.
Do I pull its fucking arm off?
At this point, we're getting very close. I think, describe to me what happens. And I think that is possible. Yeah.
I am braced on its shoulder, right? And I am sort of hooked backwards into it. Ipse is trying to keep things from shooting at me, is desperately covering fire, and Julius just reaches down with this enormous mech arms and rips the fucking arm off of Goliath, and then just throws it on the ground. Blade first. Obviously blade first.
Rules of nature starts playing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's important. Listen, just fuck me up.
I mean, my immediate assumption was the fact that pulling a mech's arm off that much bigger than you, it's it pulls your servos, or you lose an arm, or...
Yeah.
An arm for an arm leaves everyone still blind.
Disarmed.
Disarmed.
You're standing there, just triumphant in your victory, hanging off this colossal thing. When you hear almost sounds like a roar. It's the creaking joints of the machine, or the baying of the crowd inside. You're so close that you can see some of them at the windows, like yelling and screaming, pointing at you. Some of them, I imagine you can see some of the crowd have drawn weapons and are trying to break a window on Goliath so they can lean out of it and shoot at you. And that roar suddenly becomes a different, all too familiar sound as, drawing on its last reserves, Goliath charges a very localized, very strong burst of the resonance gun very quickly. Take the level 4 harm disintegrated.
Oh, is that all? Oh, okay. I figured it'd be damaged and I'd have a real problem.
Level 4?
It worked.
I'm going to declare armor, and then I'm going to declare armor again, and then I'm going to resist using my stress that I have a bunch of.
So does armor...
Does armor protect your bones?
How is the armor working?
That's a great question, everyone. How's the armor working?
I think we might be able to get away with some kind of armor for this, because we know about this bone-shaking weapon as well, right? We know about the...
This is true.
Do you want me to spend some stress on a flashback?
I think that would be a reasonable compromise, yes.
Who would we be talking to about bone liquefying armor?
Dr. Martin Perfect. He shows up and is, as we're all getting into our mechs, he's like, now don't forget to take your bone pills.
Oh,
I see. I figured this would be like a cameo for another squad, not like a literal one. We're not getting one else in the call, but I just mean like, what other squad do we put on screen who tells us like, oh yeah, so here's some stuff for the thing that's going to disintegrate your bones.
Probably Farm Upstate, maybe?
That sounds like a Farm Upstate thing. Yeah, uh-huh.
All right, how many stress is this flashback?
I think it's pretty substantial. Let's say 2.
Cool.
I had an idea. How does this armor protect against, this bone liquefying effect? What if it's actually got bones in it that sort of absorbs it first?
This sounds like...
Y'all have been reading my Lock Tomb fanfic. What the fuck?
That's what I was going to say. We've absolutely given Julius a fucking 9th house fit for the final mission.
Yes!
We do bones, motherfucker.
So this is the kind of bullshit that TFU would make as well, to be fair.
Yeah, they made the thing that liquefies metal or something.
And the teeth. Is it just lined with teeth? They're bones, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's worse.
Mm-hmm.
God, yeah. Okay, so can I take armor and heavy armor?
I think the answer is yes.
That's fine,
so that gets
right?
it down to +2.
I figured there'd be something in the rulebook about it, but it doesn't seem that there is. So...
Neat.
All right. So I'm at level 2 harm right now?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Can I resist the rest of that with resolve? Of just I simply would not mind if my bones were slightly more liquid.
I mean, could that scar you out?
If I really beef it, it could scar me out. If I roll 2 ones, I should not have said that.
Okay.
And this would take it down to 1 from 2, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seems worth it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 4 and a 2. I take 2 stress.
You good?
Right.
I'm fine. I got 3 stress boxes left.
And all of the bones on your cool armor have exploded.
Inside of the cockpit covered in enamel and liquefied bone.
Wet cockpit.
Yeah, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Take the level 3 damage wet cockpit.
Oh no! I don't want that in my cockpit.
It's like Eva in here now.
It's very like Ava in here.
Yeah.
You got bone juice in there.
Yeah. Julius' mom's here for some reason.
Oh, Mrs. Thermidor.
Yeah, Mrs. Thermidor.
All right. Yeah, so that would be level 2 harm.
Level 1 harm.
Moist bones.
Yeah, shit, okay.
Yep.
Shaken, I guess.
Yep.
Thanks to the farm upstate and their ablative bones. Okay, Ipse.
This retroactively means the farm upstate could have used bone armor in their last mission, and it's going to be really rough if someone in the farm upstate dies due to this thing, and it turns out that they just didn't want to play. They didn't want to wear the Log Tomb armor. No, it's stupid. I don't want to wear it if you're just making us cosplay.
I don't have any spare transmogs. I can't turn it into what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
Ipse, do you have a plan for how to finish this thing?
I don't know about finish. It's still got like 5 ticks left, but I'll sure as hell shoot it.
We can drop a satellite on it for the remaining 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. I'll put...
I am super on board of dropping the satellite on it now that I've realised how many ticks this thing has.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'll try and push it into satelliting range. So, cool, I'm standing right beneath it. I have reloaded my rack of missiles, and I'm just going to fire all of them at it. At close range.
Not much thought, not much planning, just...
Very little, just
unloading.
Fire as many as possible. I'm going to do kind of a run and shoot as well to try and not get shot back, because I'm taking my bypass G-limiters.
So imagine you there, just in this cockpit, just shake the whole thing shaking.
Is anyone able to help?
Nope.
It's fine if you cannot.
It would scar me out, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Literally everyone is on 8 stress.
This is going to give me a breakdown, but it's fine. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. Desperate Zero. I think this is a battle.
You do also have that fine machine gun, but I don't know if the scale would...
Yeah, maybe I should just use a fine machine gun if that will put me up to limited.
It may or may not, right?
I mean, I'm firing everything, but that's fine. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like the improvement of it being a fine machine gun is cancelled out by the fact of you're firing a machine gun instead of exploding it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I could just take for 1 die, but...
Collateral?
Seems pretty rough. Yeah, can you give me a collateral?
I mean, what collateral is, a big deal here?
What about filling the resonance gun clock?
Oh, for God's sake.
Hope everybody packed their bone armor.
I think the collateral here is that where Goliath is standing is considered seriously harmful to civilians. I think that it's over, a water or a gas main or something infrastructurally critical, and I think that that is counted as breaking the harm to civilians ROE, and it stays on Ipse's record.
Well, I'm not going to take that one. That's definitely not something I want to do.
So how are we looking currently?
1 die desperate limited with my push.
Hoo-wee! Okay, we need to work on that.
No one can help me without scarring out, so...
What if we bring in Board Squadron to help?
No!
I mean,
I was wondering about that.
No! They are doing good work over in the spaceport. We do not want them to get killed by a giant robot.
Okay. You know what? Fair enough. They're still on foot.
We've got more dice rolls we can make if this.
Yeah, I can just make a coin flip. It's fine. We only need the 1 tick from limited.
Very worried about this.
I could just roll a 5. That'll be fine.
That's fine.
You did roll a 5.
yeah.
Oh, you did it. Well done.
I mean, the GM could impose a consequence to decrease your effects. Nope. Okay.
Well.
No, sorry.
Can't be reduced lower than limited, I'm afraid.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
I believe that's the case. I think.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. That would be too mean. Okay, you're just unloading missile after missile into the sort of underbelly of this thing.
Presumably, as it's moving away from this gas main when this thing drops down on it eventually, so they are moving slightly.
Probably a good idea to make it move away from the gas main before we drop a satellite.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm assuming this is...
I think
upon
if we
reflection.
didn't go for that, then that's not, canon, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And eventually the sort of floor of the convention center crumbles and gives way. There's a horrendous, screeching as the joints of the legs give way, and the whole thing begins crashing down. The top upper part of the torso snaps off and begins toppling forward, crushing another sort of street of buildings as it lands face forward. One of the cannons falls off its mounting and skitters and rolls and encircles across the city. The whole thing begins to collapse, and you see convention attendees crawling out of it, climbing, jumping, flying in some cases, like rats abandoning a sinking ship. It is tottering, it's almost done. And I think that you are underneath a large amount of this debris, Ipsay. So I think you might be taking the level 4 damage crushed.
That's a big damage.
Well, that destroys the mech.
Well, I haven't used my armor yet, and I guess I can resist this again, because I was about to say, I'm about to take Breakdown, but I have Will Not Stop ever. So when I take Breakdown, I can take a level 1 damage to not leave the scene, but Quirks refresh as normal.
Oh, interesting.
So I've just reset back to full Quirks available.
And then immediately spend one of them. Nice.
And then, almost certainly spend one to resist this as well.
Oh, you could spend more. You could just walk out like the Terminator. That'd be incredible.
I mean, I don't mind taking a bit of damage from this.
Is calling Ipsay a Terminator a microaggression?
Actually, it might be. Mike didn't say that out loud. That was Matt.
If I'm resisting this, which action would you say this is most likely to come under? I feel like we're both kind of equivalent on this.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of dealer's choice on this one, potentially. Yeah.
Alright, cool. I'll take it on Acuity then. I'll exhaust another quirk again. Start taking him off, and I'll mark my armor to reduce that to a level 2. And I also need a level 1 from...
Will Not Stop.
Yeah, burning through my Geolimiter quirk on Breakdown, so...
I'd say for level 2 could be something like Shattered Limb or something.
Yeah,
if it became more of a glancing blow. And one could just be drained from overexertion.
Yep, we can do that. That sounds good.
You get word from the Serpent's Fangs just saying, okay, we're good to go. Keep clear and stand by. Are you following that command, letting them follow through with their end of the bargain?
We could do it ourselves. It's only 4 ticks.
I don't think that we could... we're running very low on the resources we need to get up to this point at this point, and we have sort of agreed to the dropping thing.
I just don't think necessarily this is something True cares about.
Mike definitely was entertaining the idea of trying to do it all ourselves, but his mech is completely fucked. It's tempting to try and go for it, but I think we're very low on resources, and I think presumably seeing in this position, the Serpent's Fangs are probably going to go for it. They're not going to be able to get the the media propaganda victory they thought, but at the same time, it's not nothing. Ideally, I'd like to get a situation where whoever the commander is that's going to be pressing the button, it's also Birdie. They're both pressing the button at the same time. It's a combined thing. That's the picture, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Do we maybe want to make some sort of a roll, as a group to do this? Some sort of a group action?
Oh,
group action?
Fire the thing.
Yeah, to be in the spaceport and to just be to take part of the credit, essentially.
I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, alright, yeah.
If this is Birdie related, is it group command effectively? We're bullying through?
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
I'm the least likely to stress out, but I don't know if someone else wants to do it for story reasons. I think it makes sense for it to be Mike, but I don't know if you want to definitely take a scar.
I would definitely take a scar if that happened.
Kind of an interesting time to do it.
Yeah, I also don't have any ranks in command.
I have 2.
That's good.
And I have a way to make it still seem like it's a Mike thing.
Yeah, I think if Mike takes this stress to finally put the cap on this, I think that's fine. Well, we could all succeed. You never know.
Also, Blood Brothers means that the fire team will give a +1D. So you'll at least start off with 1 dice there, not 0.
Even for command?
For group actions. Oh. It says teamwork rolls, open brackets, set up and group actions.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Mike can scar out here. Mike can be very likely to scar out here.
When you fight alongside your fire teams in combat.
Okay.
I didn't read.
Yeah, it's another fortune fire situation. So no, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm happy to, lead this group action.
So it'd be 1d6 from Ipse, 2d6 from Julius.
Yep.
And then 0d6 from Michael and Trim.
I mean, could I... Because I'm on 8 out of 9. Can I push myself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, and scar out of the
We
process.
only need the 1 success.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I will in fact
So maybe
push
there's no point.
Mike is exhausted. He is very sad that the Vector Mantis has been trashed. He's sitting there. He's breathing deeply over the comms. And you said you had a way to kind of pitch this.
I had a way to pitch it as Julius doing it. I don't actually know how it looks like if Mike does it, but
so you had
I'm down for anything.
Oh, so you want to be the one that's running the
I don't specifically. I know a way that I think I could make it look interesting.
Yeah, go for it then. If you want to lead the act. Oh, so
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think definitely Mike is willing to support Julius in this case.
It'd be really funny if we roll a 3 and the space station just bounces off.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I'm rolling 2.
I'm going to have 2 dice as well, because I can push.
You're going to have 2
safely.
dice.
I'm going to have
Mike's
0.
going to have 1 dice. All right, you just... Okay.
I'm not pushing myself.
God. What does a collateral look like? Probably bad, right? It's probably ROE breaking, huh?
Yeah, I think it would be.
This is also about the credit as well, right? So, I think it's going to come down regardless. It's just whether or not we can pitch this as a fully...
Yeah, right. Yeah. The stakes are not life or death there.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I think Mike passing out at this point is fun, so I'm gonna use that stress.
This is... I mean, Julius has been sort of in communication with Board Squadron, and I think he has just been giving orders the whole time, right? Of them sort of figure out where the room with the button is, and just, get in the room, right? And make sure one of your guys is just, in position to, I assume this is some sort of a multi-stage launch, right? Something's got to get pulled, right? And there's a whole bunch of chaos, right? Presumably they got droned at some point or other. And just, make sure probably Birdie, I think it is interesting if it's him, is just, pulling some sort of lever critically on camera.
Yeah. And this isn't us taking the credit, this is us sharing the credit, so it also doesn't break the ROE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And before Julius does this, I think the cockpit of the Tortur is popped, right? I think he is breathing heavily. He looks at Mike for the nod.
Mike is very tired and gives you the nod and a thumbs up.
Okay. What's the position effect here for everybody?
I say you're in a pretty solid place. I think this is risky standard.
Alright.
Well, never
No
mind.
way! No way!
That's
Let's wait till all the rolls come in. Wait till all the rolls
Yeah.
come in.
Uh-huh.
this is command, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Fucking true. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's literally fine.
That's just a stress, right?
Okay, so
Okay. Mike got a 5. True got a 3 and a 1. Take lowest. Julius got a 6 and a 4. Ipse fucking critted.
On 2 dice.
7
On
crits.
2 dice. Double
listeners!
6. Let's go.
7 crits company.
Uh-huh.
God. How fucking cool does Peregrine Birdie Docks look on camera right now?
Dr. Martin Perfect gave him a haircut just before this,
God. He is attractively battle damaged, right? He's got a cut on his forehead.
Like on the cheekbone, in the good place where people get cut sometimes. Sword duels.
And if this is a picture that's being taken of the final blow against Goliath, as well as we've said of the enduring pictures of this battle, this is the enduring picture, right? Of a DFS and a Evangelion both pushing the button or pulling...
Turning 2 keys.
Two keys synchronized. Yeah. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'm imagining that there's sort of a conversation just after or just before Board Squadron enters this control room in the spaceport where one of the surface flags is being Why should we? Why should we drop the thing? Look, this is a disaster. We look like complete idiots, whereas we're not getting any big credit for this. This planet is going nowhere. What is the point? And then, Bull Squadron marches in. Imagine Birdie just, looking expressionless and just resting a hand on this guy's shoulder. And then one of you surface signs just being like, look outside. Look at that fucking thing. Just fucking fire it already.
Colony drop, open bracket, positive, close bracket.
And this is not breaking any ROEs, and they are going to get some credit. It's just not the credit that they wanted.
We see from a long, long distance away against the skyline, what's left of the Hestial skyline, you see a sort of bright, streaking meteor coming down, and then a bright flash, and I feel like we cut to the scarred, dirt-covered faces of each of the pilots and the expressions that they have, and we just see all 4 of them get drowned out in this light. And Goliath ends.
Mike is passed the fuck out. If Julius turns to talk to him, Mike is slumped down in his cockpit and is just passed out. This has been a lot.
I think True is in the ruined park from earlier. I think she was directing stuff at the spaceport via the comms. She is in this wrecked park. There was a big fountain in the middle of it, and the fountain, part of the, base has been cracked. So there's just a bit of a flood happening. You hear running water in the background, and I think True is just sitting, legs swinging out of her cockpit. And she just looks so fucking relieved and so goddamn tired. Her eyes run to, a big zip drive or something like that. A big, hard piece of storage media in the back of the cockpit.
I think Ipse is kind of, I don't know, characteristically unfazed in some ways. Even, straight after the aftermath of this, I think I'm almost going round to check on the other pilots. I'm out of my RV at this point, and I'm going to go and look for people and just make sure that they survived, that they're intact. Yeah.
Julius has had the same idea.
Okay, well that's convenient.
Yeah.
Takes you 45 minutes to find each other because you're both walking around the fucking battlefield.
I think we find each other at someone else's position. But yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, right. We're just we verified True is alright, and we are going to check on Mike. Is there a moment? I feel like there's got to be a moment, right?
Yeah, definitely some kind of moment happening here. I don't think that this is a moment that Ipse particularly wants to express with words as a thing. I think there is a look shared at the end of this battle.
Yeah, I think Julius cuffs you on the back.
Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited and sound balanced by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at cvblight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find them on all social media at Devin Decibel. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.